Hello, this is Dave here in Valdez, Alaska in a Robinson R-44 helicopter. So this is a video for my friend and colleague at Northeastern, Nishchel, who finished a vacation, a holiday trip to Valdez, Alaska earlier this summer. We were talking and you mentioned you flew in this helicopter, or I think I saw on your desktop photo a picture of you in front of a glacier with this helicopter kind of parked nearby. And so this is the helicopter parked on the ramp at the airfield in Valdez. I'll start it up. Let's turn on the battery and get the magneto. Whoops. That was the starter, apparently. Turn on the fuel first, and then start it up. Oh, well, might as well get the avionics on. Okay. Rotor's spinning. Let's check the controls. No. Good. That's nothing. Alright. I suppose I should turn on the lights. There's going to be, that's the comms. You know what? I'm not familiar with this. I just realized I'm not familiar with this cockpit. Oh, here they are. Nav light, strobe. Okay. Check. Guy's a little close. I don't need a tug, but we'll take off. Let's taxi over to the runway. Well, I'm not going to use the runway. I mean, I'm in a helicopter. I might as well just take off, huh? Let's just do that. And honestly, I'm not very familiar with this area, so we'll fly towards that mountain range. See in the distance. Game time is around 6 p.m. today, so I don't think, I don't have live weather on, so this is not live weather, this is just static, scattered clouds. Let's see, I should figure out where the gauge is. RPM. Not sure the RPM gauge is working. Oh well. This is a sort of beta community developed free mod. There are no official helicopters in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So this is a sort of an enthusiast-created helicopter. You can see, you know, the collective works. The cyclic is animated. Cockpit is pretty well modeled. The torque pedals. See the torquing yawing the nose, the helicopter, as I move the torque pedals. Some of the gauges, I think the speed, the airspeed indicator, that's working. The altimeter, the climb meter, whatever the vertical speed indicator, that's working. GPS. The compass, is that working? Yep, the compass is working. Not sure that the... Oh yeah, okay. Manifold pressure is working, but the RPM gauge doesn't seem to be... Well, actually, I guess this helicopter, the engine runs at 100% RPM, so maybe the rotor and engine RPM, yeah, so there's a... The left side of that RPM gauge is the engine RPMs, and the right side is the rotor RPM, so they should be maxed or around 100%. And when we're moving the collective, we're really changing the pitch of the rotors. So I think it's all modeled. Okay, we're gaining elevation, so I need to slow with the forward airspeed and climb a little more. I'm just following this road. It is summer. Still, well, fall, actually. So I don't think they have seasons modeled in Microsoft Flight Simulator, though. So the time of the year only affects where the sun is. Climbing a little, but not a lot, so I still have a little bit of engine power I can supply to, or not engine power, I keep making that mistake. I still have a pitch, rotor pitch I can use, and it won't bog down the engine too much. You can see that manifold pressure is still just shy of the yellow zone. I can gain altitude by pulling back on the cyclic. That slows my forward airspeed and allows me to climb. Of course, I'm not looking at this scenery while I'm looking at the gauges. I need to get some more airspeed. Just because I don't want to stop all forward airspeed because you can get into some basically a loss of effective tail rotor or vortex ring state if you're low enough to the ground. So that basically means the helicopter loses lift. So I'm going up, I'm following the river because this helicopter just doesn't feel powerful enough to really climb without getting into the red zone or the yellow and red zone. So I guess I could stay in the yellow zone a little bit. I'm going to need to apply some more power now. So I'm in the middle of that yellow zone. Should be fine. It's a simulator. I don't have to worry about the wear and tear on the drivetrain. But you can see I'm starting to shift because I'm losing forward airspeed and I'm actually losing altitude as a result. So I need to regain control. Not the best helicopter pilot, obviously. It's fairly new to me until started flight simming this year, I've never even flown a simulated helicopter, so this is all kind of new. And it's very different from flying a fixed-wing airplane, even in a simulator, because the controls are very different. Well, except for the cyclic here. The collective is... there's not an equivalent in an airplane. I mean, I guess the closest equivalent is the throttle, but torque pedals in an airplane, it would be called a yaw or a rudder pedal. There are no rudders in helicopters for the most part, so they're called torque pedals, and they affect the aircraft in the yaw axis. So in that respect, there are some similarities, and I'm losing forward airspeed again. And that's getting me close to terrain. So I'm going to have to lose some altitude in order to gain tail rotor effectiveness. And now I have to figure out how to climb all the way. And I think, yeah, climbing up this river towards that peak seems to be my best option. I can't really easily go up the sides of these mountains. I can use a lot of fuel and power by kind of hovering up, but then, well, we might have to do that in the end. So really the whole point of this is to find a glacier and land on it. I think that looks like a glacier in front of me. I don't think this is the one that you went to, Nistral. Let me pull up the VFR map, and you can sort of see and zoom out a little. Yeah, that's where I am. I think Valdez is down here. Anyway, I need to concentrate a little more on flying versus navigating. But even simulated in VR, this is a stunning area, isn't it? So as it gets steeper here, I'm going to have to start slowing down the forward airspeed, trading off forward airspeed for altitude. So as you see, as I slow down, the vertical speed indicator is going up as my forward airspeed drops. Still want to maintain at least 40 to 50 knots forward airspeed while I'm climbing. But eventually, it looks like I'm going to have to just start hovering to climb, sort of do a stationary climb. It's going to use a lot more torque pedal and power. Hopefully this helicopter has that power. I'm at about 40 knots now. Or no, 30 actually. 20. Okay, now I'm going to have to really apply the power and the torque pedals as we're slowing down to about 20 knots. Still want to maintain a climb. You can hear the pitch as I increase the pitch of the rotors. The whine on the engine increases the noise. So now I'm almost at a hover, and I'm still climbing, but I have a lot more torque pedal applied to keep the nose pointed straight in front of me. This looks like a glacier. To see, I'm not really moving the collective too much. It's all just cyclic and torque pedals right now. And I'm pulling back on the cyclic if I want to climb a little. We trade airspeed for altitude. As I do that, I need to increase the torque pedal. And this is one of the glaciers, I think. I don't know which one, but they all seem to have names, I believe. You can sort of see the bluish tinge on the ice. Let's go to the edge here. That looks like that'll be scenic. Starting to not really be able to climb much. Pretty much at the limit of this aircraft. They try to model this realistically, so I think the performance characteristics are pretty close. They're not fully representative, I don't think, because it's still a work in progress. But once I land, I can actually do something kind of interesting, I hope, which is to basically look around outside. I'm not flying VR, I'm actually flying on a flat screen monitor, but this generally gives us a better resolution. And start my landing. Kind of on an edge here. Not a good landing spot actually, but it'll have to do. This. I just realized I've not tried landing this helicopter before, and it's a little tricky for me. Just not used to it. I might just have to put her down. Okay, come on. This is a good spot right here. Nope. I missed it. Actually, up here, that looks better. Uh-oh. I'm losing it. Okay, here we go. It's hard to tell the how far I am from the ground when I'm not in VR goggles, because the depth perception just doesn't exist. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Okay. Oh, darn it. Vortex ring state. You see that? I'm just... Oh. Oh no. I'm losing control. Okay. Wow. Alright. That was terrible. Okay. I know all the passengers are asking for their money back at this point, but you know, this is what happens when you get a novice helicopter pilot flying in a very challenging area for the first time. Yeah, make sure your pilot has better credentials. Okay, let's see. That was a chore. Alright, well, let's quiet it down here. Let's cut off the fuel. Probably not the right way to turn things off, but you know what? That's good enough for me. Turn the battery off. Alright. Oh, yeah, I forgot this thing does that. Okay. Well, let's open the pilot front door, huh? Where's the door handle? There it is. Here we go. And you know what? This is because I'm not in VR. I can't actually. Oh, can I? Oh. Huh. Okay. Let's see what happens if I. Oh, my head tracking's gone. What's going on here? You're gonna see some of the software that's involved here. So let me stop this. Actually, we don't need that head tracking anymore, because what I'm going to do is get into the drone view, and this is kind of how we can look outside at the helicopter and the surrounding area. So here we are in Valdez, Alaska. So I don't know where you ended up on your tour, but I think it was in this general area, right? I mean, I can go up. I'm in a drone now, technically. I think, yeah, that's the helicopter there. Wow. Yeah, it's a stunning area, though, and even in VR, or not VR, but in the simulated world. So these photos or the images, the textures and all that are supposed to be based on the real world. They're photogrammetry source data from Bing, the Bing Maps data source. So this is all making, you know, web services calls out to Bing to get all this. Anyway, this is a long enough video. Hope this gave you some lovely reminiscence memories of your vacation, Nistral, and this is an area I will be exploring a little more in Flight Sim. Alright, take care.